So there is a new patch out for the PTR. It's not live yet. The PTR is not up, but it will be, I assume, sometime either today or tomorrow. So it's Here's the Storm PTR patch notes, September 19th, 2016. General, they're just adding Warhead Junction to the map rotation. I don't actually remember what map they're removing here. Yeah. I really don't like the fact that they have Battlefield of Eternity and Braxis in the same rotation, by the way. 2-lane maps are fundamentally different from 3-lane maps in Heroes of the Storm. And I think there's one 2-lane map per would be fine. But is it live? I can't select it. Oh, I'm on Hearthstone. Oh, it is. It's right there. I thought I was on Heroes of the Storm. My bad. So it is live. Maybe we'll play a game or two on PTR after this. Really quick. Zarya is released from Overwatch. She is a combination between Tassadar and ETC and an actual warrior. It's kind of weird. Right. Each time Zarya's personal barrier shield absorbs 10 damage, her energy is increased by 1. Each point of energy increases Zarya's damage by 2%. After a half second, energy decays by 3 per second. It's kind of weird. Particle grenade. Launch a particle grenade that deals damage to enemies in a small area. Deals 50% damage to structure. This actually has 4 charges. So it's pretty interesting. She's actually going to be, I think she's going to shine in Double Warrior. I'm not, like, I haven't played her, but looking at her kit, I feel like she's going to shine in Double Warrior because she's a ranged warrior. And you still kind of need a frontline. But the personal barrier, gain a shield that absorbs damage, and shield ally, like these two abilities together make it so that she can shield the real frontliner. And then if she gets collapsed on because you're trying to deal with her grenading you in the face, she just personal barriers and you have problems. Plus, her ults are really good at peeling and playmaking. So you have that extra synergy with having another warrior. This is kind of like Mosh Pit, except that doesn't stun. It just sort of displaces them constantly so they can't escape. And then you have a push away zone. It's going to be interesting. Warhead Junction. I mean, everyone's seen this map, whether at Gamescom or elsewhere. But warheads spawn periodically across the map. You can pick them up and then you can nuke things. I have a feeling most people are going to use the nukes really terribly. But we'll have to see how that works out. Chen and Nazeebo have received visual updates because they've gotten massive reworks, apparently. It's good to know. New bundles. We don't care about that. Price changes. Muradin's price went up. What? Okay. I believe that is the very first price increase ever in Heroes of the Storm. So that's awkward. They updated the second tutorial mission. They gave Season Marksman a new sound. That's fair. Alright, here is. Let's look at this. This is usually the big thing. Arcane Orb. Beginning size reduced by roughly 33%. Maximum size reduced by roughly 33%. Explosion radius reduced by roughly 15%. So it's been a complaint, I'm going to say, since like day one for Li-Ming players, that her orb is inconsistent sometimes in the way it explodes and the amount that it hits. So that could actually be better. Triumvirate now reduces the cooldown of Arcane Orb by 50% instead of 5 seconds. That's worse. Travel distance required reduced from 65 to 50%. That's better. Makes it a reasonable poke talent. Let's do some math here. The base cooldown on Orb was 8 seconds? Yeah. So it reduces it to 4 seconds instead of 3. Travel time still about a second to half a second to a second. That's pretty reasonable. That's going to be more consistent now than it was. It's actually pretty important. Because you usually took Triumvirate essentially as a poke talent for interrupting altars. So like on Cursed Hollow, on Towers of Doom, even on some degree on Tomb of the Spider Queen, sometimes you would take Triumvirate just to get interrupts. So the channel time for turn-ins is like 6 seconds. So when you reduce, as long as you're reducing the cooldown of orb to less than 6 seconds, and you can consistently chunk them, throw them out to consistently get those interrupts. Triumvirate is going to be a really worthwhile talent. So it's just as good as it's arguably better than it was, even though the cooldown is 1 second less. The reliability of getting it, more consistently is actually better. This is a buff. Arguably it's a nerf with this, but it's definitely a buff in and of itself. Zade's Vengeance added functionality, now also reduces the cooldown of Arcane Orb by 25%. That's pretty interesting. So it's going to be a 2-second cooldown if you get Triumvirate and Zade's Vengeance and hit at least at 50% of the distance. We're going to have to check to see how that interacts with Arcane Orbit. That is, in fact, against the rules. You're not allowed to advertise streams in a thread. There's 1 thread per week to advertise your stream. That's it. Tychus, base maximum health increased. For the record, except for Greymane, because Greymane scales at 4.5%, Tychus already had the highest health of any ranged assassin. So giving him a buff, putting him on like the medium side of melee assassins in terms of health is pretty crazy. Particularly because he has a healing talent at 13. It's already been the case that Tychus can sort of act like a bruiser. Because his attack range is so short and he doesn't want to stutter step anyway, you'll notice professional Tychus players position very aggressively. They're very far forward a lot of the time, which is one of the reasons that we saw Shrug It Off, which has been removed, apparently. Used so commonly, right? By giving him even more health, we're going to get to a point where we might literally see Tychus as the bruiser in compositions. Like, you'll look at a draft and you'll be like, oh, that's triple range, but there's a Tychus, and Tychus is actually going to functionally be the bruiser. Which is kind of weird. Kind of a weird arrangement. Kind of cool, in my opinion. Tychus has definitely become a very interesting hero. Press the advantage, basic attack range bonus increase from 25 to 30%. That makes that significantly better. Press the advantage was sometimes taken in the Korean pro scene to enable aggressive chases. It's going to be a little bit more viable now, especially with Shrug It Off removed. It's going to come down to you're either going to pick a dash or press the advantage, I think, in very high level play. Dash, of course, is a little bit weaker because of the globe issue. Cooldown reduction reduced from 0.75 to 0.8 seconds per basic attack. Combat Tactician actually is pretty good. The problem with Combat Tactician is you don't need it once you have Bob and Weave at 20. So I feel like Combat Tactician is a talent you take if you're not going to take Bob and Weave, and you don't need the utility of either of the other abilities, which is almost never the case. Maybe with Rockstar. Maybe if you're playing the bruiser style of Tychus and you have an attack speed increase. So you have ETC Tychus, and Tychus is the bruiser. Combat Tactician might be better because you would be getting constant resets and you could use it for juking. What's the math on that? So Tychus attacks 4 times per second base. Cooldown of Running Gun is 10 seconds, so he has to attack 12.5 times to completely reset the cooldown, which basically means it's 3 seconds. So if he can just stand there and auto attack for 3 seconds. Every 3 seconds he'd be able to run and gun. That's actually pretty good. Especially with Relentless Soldier at 7, granting resistance every time he gets CC'd. That's pretty crazy. We might actually see Bruiser Tychus. Bruiser Tychus might actually just become a thing. Alright. Huge rework on Nazeebo. Oh my god. Okay. We got this, guys. We got this. Corpse Spiders. Spiders will now fixate on whatever enemies are hit with the jar, dividing their focus among all available targets for first rogue targets. That's pretty strong. And it actually makes hitting with the jar important. Okay. Spiders will only spawn if you hit an enemy with jar. Oh. Okay. Yeah, hitting with the jar is now absolutely critical. Not actually that easy, for the record, to hit an enemy hero with the jar, especially if they're anticipating it, because it does have a travel time. Reduce the travel speed of the jar, mostly at close range. Okay, well that's not good. It was already hard to intentionally hit someone with the jar. Now there's going to be outplay potential, a lot of outplay potential. Increase the impact radius by 50%. That matters. That's a good change if they're doing the other things. Spiders now move significantly faster. That's good. Impact damage reduced from 91 to 50. Spiders attack damage increased from 13 to 35. So it spawns 3 spiders. That's a significant increase in damage. Mana cost reduced. That doesn't really matter. Nazeebo's not famous for having mana issues, especially in the late game. But of course, part of it's because of the death ritual. Zombie wall, health increased. I like the health increase. There were actually a number of abilities that just straight up killed zombies, and it was like, nah, okay. The HOTS damage has increased a lot over time, so it was just a necessary tweak. Plague of Toads. Number of toads reduced from 5 to 3. Now it's 2 charges, so before you would have gotten 10... Before you got 5 times, now you get 6. Okay. Damage changed from 87 on impact to 126 over 6 seconds, so now it's a dot. Multiple instances of this damage effect can affect the same enemy. So it's kind of like corruption. You can get 6 stacks on a target. Cooldown reduced from 10 to 8 seconds. That's actually a huge buff. So this is a huge buff for Plague of Toads. We'll have to see what his new talents look like. But if they just changed that and didn't change any of his old talents, this would be a buff for Plague of Toads across the board. Voodoo Ritual trait, damage over time effect is now only applied to non-heroes. That's a nerf. Duration increased from 46 seconds. That's a buff. Killing an enemy affected by Voodoo Ritual no longer restores health and mana. That's a nerf. New functionality. You now permanently gain 4 maximum health and 1 maximum mana if an enemy minion dies while affected by Voodoo Ritual. That's a buff because it's a level 1 talent that he now gets for free. Gargantuan stays near the area where cast, so it becomes a zoning tool. Gargantuan's now like a mobile ward sort of thing, and they buffed everything else to compensate for the fact that it doesn't follow you around anymore. This makes the level 20 upgrade really questionable, but we'll see if they change that. Demolitionist removed, Death Ritual removed, Bribe removed, Blood Ritual moved to level 4. Okay. Does he have any level 1 talents left? Like, what the fuck? Let me scroll down here. Okay, so he has 2 new talents, and a 13 talent was moved to level 1. Okay. That makes sense. If an enemy dies while affected by Voodoo Ritual, so you basically get your trait plus back. Level 4. New talent, Widowmakers. After hitting heroes 100 times with Corpse Spider attacks, their damage is increased by 30%. That's going to be pretty easy to complete. If there's a spider build anywhere in his new talent tree, that's going to be the default for that build. If you're hitting 40 heroes with Plague of Toads, it spawns 2 additional toads. So now you have 10 toads every 8 seconds instead of 5 toads every 10. If you finish the quest. Assuming the rest of his toad build is intact, that's going to be like ridiculously strong. Spider Cluster removed. Gathering Power removed. Mercenary Lord removed. Envenom removed. Promote removed. Wow. New talent, Hexed Crawlers. Corpse Spiders restores 3/4% of your maximum health and mana each time they attack an enemy hero. That's an interesting sustain talent, and the fact that you have this scaling with your trait, if you stack it up, means that the fact that it's a percentage instead of a fixed amount is really going to matter. But I also kind of question, as a backline DPS, I don't know. And remember that Pandemic, or not Pandemic, Blood Ritual got moved to level 4 as well. New talent, Big Voodoo. Increase the health and mana bonuses from Voodoo Ritual by 100%. Wow. Wow. So that's 8 health and 2 mana per minion killed? Permanently? What is that? Okay, assuming you can get Nazeebo to rotate on a 2-lane map. Let's the best possible scenario. That's 14 minions every 30 seconds. That's 28 minions per minute. That's 224 health per minute. That's an extra 2,200 health by minute 10. That's like a lake. If you're on Tomb of the Spider Queen and you're in the 4-man as Nazeebo, which is, I mean, it's not unheard of. EU teams used to do this. They would just have tank Zebo at the end of matches. They would put him in the 4-man rotation. Back when Nazeebo was actually played in the professional scene. That's like Shogal level HP. Like, he could actually get to Shogal level HP on a Tomb of the Spider Queen game by like the level 17, 18 mark. That's insane. Like, I feel like Blizzard took away a mandatory talent and made it baseline, and then made another talent that improves it that is now also going to be baseline. I mean, what was the point? I'm exaggerating a little bit with the Trogal thing, but if he can get 2,200 health by the 10-minute mark, by the 20-minute mark, he can get over 7k if you count scaling. And Trogal would actually have like 8.5 or 9 around that same time. But like it's more health than many tanks. And yeah, you have to stick him in the 4-man rotation, but it's insane. It's just a straight up insane buff. Like, this is I'm calling it now. Big Voodoo Ritual is going to be considered Big Voodoo is going to be considered a mandatory talent, and the other ones are going to be considered, yeah, they're good, but you can't actually ever take them. Gid been removed. It sucks. Fresh corpse was removed. It sucks. New talent. Spirit of Arak here. If your jar of corpse spiders only hits one enemy, spawn an additional spider. That's really a level 7 talent. You get a single additional spider. Really? Like that? Okay. Seems so terrible. Like, that just seems like straight trash. Dead Rush. Move to level 7. Increase zombie bonus damage from 50 to 100%. That's actually pretty good. Dead Rush was already considered to be a pretty good talent. Although it was considered a good talent because of Fresh Corpses. The cooldown reduction interacted with the wall to give... Okay. So... But it's now a level 7 talent instead of level 13 talent, so it doesn't require as much synergy to be good because it's a lower tier. Toads of Fusions move to level 7. Bonus reduced from 25 to 15% per hop, and now caps at a 60% bonus. So after 4 hops, you get the maximum value. But Toads are damage over time now. But they're more damage over time. You know, we saw this thing briefly. It never ended up working. But we saw this thing briefly at for the mid-level EU teams. They tried to make Nazeebo Lunara work. And the idea was that you would have all this spread damage over time, and there was no support that could keep up with it, and then the sheer chaos. With Toads now being in damage over time, we might see that again. Especially since Nazeebo in the late game can kind of be a frontliner. We might see like Nazeebo, Lunara, Gul'dan, and then a tank and a support, and Nazeebo will be in the front line. That's true. If your jar of corpse spiders only hits one target, and now that they're programmed to focus whoever gets target, that one that's hitting one target, but the one enemy spider will also all focus targets. You can have 4 spiders focusing the same target. That's a significant amount of damage. I don't know. It seems trash. Even accounting for that, it seems really bad. But I'll have to test in game. The numbers could be good enough that it's actually fine, but it seems bad. Things of the Deep move to level 1. Range bonus decreased by 5%. This is actually crazy. By the way, Things of the Deep was already considered a pretty good talent. It was just not strong enough to justify taking compared to other talents of that tier. But now at level 1, it might just be good enough. The thing about Things of the Deep is it allows Nazeebo to play very safely, and with his massive health buff, indirectly, he doesn't need to play safely. So we'll see how that works out. If your Plague of Toads explodes on an enemy hero, gain resistance for 2 seconds, reducing damage taken by 25%. So they're sticking with that trend of damage dealers having all defensive abilities at level 13. So it looked like Ice Block was changed either. So he has now his Ice Block, a resistant talent, and Superstition. You take 50% less damage from abilities, but 30% more damage from basic attacks. That could be really good. That could be, like, really good. If there's only one auto attacker on the enemy team, or they're all ranged auto attackers, and you can stand far enough back, you just, like, won't ever die. That's just crazy. That's a crazy good talent. Wow. Wow. Okay. Like, so the brilliance of this talent, and the reason it's going to be, like, brokenly powerful, is that auto attacks can get you low, but they won't actually kill you. The reason that certain tanks kind of have to take Spell Shield, like ETC always has to take Spell Shield versus Li-Ming, it's a requirement, is because you can get bursted out so easily once you're even a little bit low in this game. Auto attacks aren't the thing that burst you out, though. Like, even Tracer, she secures kills with her Pulse Bomb plus melee combo, right? She's all about burst. She's actually a burst hero, which is why Parting Gift is dominant in the pro scene at level 4. It's not the only way to play her, but at a high level play, it's the most effective way to play her. So even auto attack heroes depend on their burst abilities to finish people off in many cases. Like Greymane's an auto attack hero, but he finishes you off with Go for the Throat and Cocktail combos, like, and Razor Swipe. So that's insane. That's just an insane talent. I know ETC got reworked. I haven't read it yet, but it's an example that currently applies. It might not apply in like 10 seconds, but it applies for me right now. Specialized Toxin removed. Good. That was a shitty talent after the nerf. Leaping Spiders removed. Yeah, that's kind of sad. Infested Toads removed. Okay. Hardened Focus removed. Seems fair. Hashen, you're moving in with your fiance. That's fine. You're allowed to not be around. You're forgiven. New talent, Spider Colony. Corpse spiders recharge twice as fast while you're above 850 health. So basically 40%. Seems kind of arbitrary, but whatever. Could be really good. Maybe. We'll see. Increases the duration of Wall of Zombies by 1 second, and now deals 375 damage over 4 seconds. Damage starts small and increases over the duration. So catching people in Zombie Wall is now significant if you take this talent. Okay. Like, more significant. Soul Harvest. Active. Activate to gain 3% ability power and maximum health for every nearby enemy, up to 15%. Health and ability power bonuses last 15 seconds. 15-second cooldown. That seems like it would be really good on a burst hero. The question is going to be, is Nazeebo a burst hero? Like, does he have enough new tools in his kit that he can actually kill someone? If he does, then that's a really good talent. If he doesn't, it's also survivability, though, because maximum health. Let's see how that works. Humongoi. No longer makes Gargantuan last indefinitely, or increases basic attack damage on heroic enemies' new functionality. Reduce the cooldown of Gargantuan by 50 seconds and mana cost by 50%. So it's a 70-second cooldown, so this puts it on a 20-second cooldown. That's pretty insane. Bolt of the Storm removed, which means that Humongoi is now the default. Because Bolt of the Storm is really the only talent that usually compares with heroic upgrades for most heroes. There's some exceptions. New talent, Vile Infection. After reaching 150 stacks of Voodoo Ritual, increase Voodoo Ritual's damage by 200% and cause it to also apply to heroes. How much damage was the new Voodoo Ritual doing? Let me scroll back up here real quick. Okay, they didn't buff it. It's the same shitty amount that it was, but it's going to be buffed by 200%. That's probably going to be the new default talent. That's pretty crazy. I really want to go look at the numbers in game. I want to like just tab out and go look at the numbers in game. We'll do that after. We'll do that after. 6th Sense. This doesn't matter, by the way. 6th Sense is a shitty talent. If it applied to ability damage as well as auto attacks, but it doesn't, like, it's just not worth taking. Kerosene being able to take Relentless was a huge part of what made him a top tier support in certain metas. And no, level 20 quest. That's the first. Well, it's gonna auto finish, right? Because by the time you get to level 20, you're already going to be at 150 stacks of Voodoo Ritual, or at least you should be. Yeah, I know they increased the duration from 4 to 6 seconds, but if they left the damage the same, then that's a buff. But if they left the damage over time number the same, and it's just spread out over 6 seconds instead of 4 now, that's actually a nerf. Check it out. 6th Sense was an Illidan talent, yes. But this is the new talent that replaced Relentless on Kerosene. Malfurion. Okay. I'm afraid. Okay. Regrowth. Cooldown reduced from 7 to 5. That's important. You can actually pre-heal people more often. Yeah, NECA, it always works that way on PTR. Mana cost reduced from 60 to 35. That's pretty significant, actually. Duration increased from 10 to 15 seconds. Does this mean... Wait. Does this mean that the healing per second is the same and just got increased duration? Because that's a huge buff. Periodic heal reduced from 75 to 60. Okay. It was per second before. Right? So we used to have 75 times 10 for 750, and now we have 60 times 15. So 900. So that's 150 health increase. Excuse me. That is a 150 health increase, but spread out over an extra 5 seconds. With the cooldown and mana reduction, that is technically a buff. It's literally the next line cut. I didn't read these before, guys. You're getting my unfiltered input about the passionates. Increased range by 12%. Range is always nice. This actually makes Grace of Elune better as well, assuming that wasn't removed. Delay before initial reduce. Oh, this is actually huge. This is actually huge. You can actually land roots on your own now without having to worry about following up your team. So that's a big deal. Now it causes the target's basic abilities to cool down 50% faster with the duration of innervate. Wow. This is a suggestion I actually made like 9 months ago as a way to buff Malf after the first round of Tranquility nerfs, which I still don't think were actually needed. I think Tranquility got nerfed too hard. That's going to be insane for high-level players. That's going to be absolutely insane for high-level players. Like, having Stitch's hooks cooldown faster, having Jaina's combo cooldown faster, having Tassadar shields cooldown faster. Like, having Butcher's Charge cooldown faster, having Leoric's Drain Hope cooldown faster, especially post 16. Having Asmodean's Globe cooldown faster. Asmodean Malfurion was already pretty decent. Because if you took Moonburn at level 1, Malfurion was an acceptable stacking assistant. Not like top tier, but acceptable. That's just pretty crazy. Having Kerrigan's combo cooldown faster, like that's just... This gives Innervate mid team fight functionality. It also significantly increases the skill cap on playing Malfurion because you have to understand which cooldowns on your team are the most valuable versus which team member might need more mana. It's a huge deal though. That's just like a huge deal. It seems really small because it's only going to benefit you for like a short period of time. But the duration for which it benefits you can make or break team fights. Harmony removed. That's fair. Harmony was a talent that confused people to no end anyway. Even when it was good, it wasn't that good. Rampant growth. Yeah, Eternal Retaliation on Johanna would be pretty interesting. A full Q build Ming with Fireflies. Charge Blast, Fireflies, Cannoneer, and Seeker would be pretty interesting. Like there's some potential there for some wonky shit. Rampant growth. Nerfed. For those of you not familiar with the history of rampant growth, it was considered a strict trap. Someone went and did the math and it was like an extra 200 health at level 20 and they're like, well, fuck you. How is that a talent we're taking? And it was like one of the most popular talents to take on Malf if you went and looked at TOTS logs. And Malf had a shitty win rate and people were like, Blizzard, fucking please buff this or remove it so people don't take it. It was considered a strict trap. For those of you who, some people who watch my stream don't like the fact that I label talents as traps, but I'm not the first person to do it, and sometimes talents are shitty and you should never take them. That's just the way it is. This was a strict trap. And it was literally months of the community just screaming, please change this. And they finally buffed it to 50%, and they were like, okay, that's good enough. It's fine. And now they're nerfing it to 40%. I understand why with all the other buffs to his Q, particularly the cooldown reduction, 40%. This is going to be roughly the same amount of healing. But Malf's major problem is a lack of a burst heal. So by taking the only burst talent he has away, or making it a little bit worse, it's worse. It's actually a lot worse. And Enduring Growth has been straight up removed. This is kind of a buff because it means he can take Cleanse, but it's also a pretty big nerf to his overall throughput. I'd have to do the math to make sure. Is his baseline better now? So increase the duration of regrowth by 6 seconds. So his overall throughput is definitely lower. His overall throughput is definitely lower. But his throughput is more easily able to be divided amongst multiple targets. Which means if you're healing multiple people, he's better. And often in Hero League, focus fire is very poor. Which means that in Hero League, he's probably better. But this change probably makes him worse for competitive. Which is fair. Because Blizzard doesn't really give a shit about balancing competitive. They only really care about balancing Hero League quick match and unranked draft, for the most part. Wow, Chen rework. Glad the Chen guide never got ridden. Okay. Storm, Earth, and Fire. New functionality. If all 3 spirits die, Chen is killed. Okay, that kind of sucks. Spirit health increase. So instead of 150% of a health bar, it's now 225% of a health bar. That's actually a pretty significant increase. You're going to be really careful about area of effect, though. Each spirit grants Chen a special ability. 1 second, guys. And I'm back. All right. So the old Storm and Fire was binge them all apart and bring them all together. So that's our baseline. That's what we're comparing this to. Increase the movement speed of your spirits by 50% for 5 seconds. Holy shit, is that good? Wow. Wow. One of the major weaknesses of Storm, Earth, and Fire was that you had very limited chase ability. Like, very limited chase ability. But that's just huge. Okay, I'm liking this so far. Fire and Earth Spirits leap at the target. Only the Fire and Earth Spirits, though. Interesting. So Storm's safe. Slowing enemies in a large area by 70% for 1.5 seconds. Wow, 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 wow. Okay, that's good. So the combination of those two means that nothing's ever getting away from Storm Within Fire. Storm Within Fire is now a legitimate zoning and chase heroic, which it was already kind of the bruiser heroic for Chen. And that's kind of, in a lot of cases, what the bruiser's supposed to be doing. So that's, like, amazing. Increase the basic attack speed of your spirits by 100% for 5 seconds. Depending on how much damage they're doing, that's actually really good. Because with a 50% increase of movement speed, you can stutter step them and always get your auto attacks off. So this is actually, like, significant. That's a huge buff for Storm Within Fire. It's a huge buff for Storm Within Fire. Regeneration Master removed. That's okay. Mostly because Grounding Brew is better in the majority of scenarios lately anyway. Keg Toss. Move to level 4. New functionality. Quest. Hitting here with Keg Smash increases damage by 3 up to a maximum of 60. So that's 20 heroes. That's pretty reasonable given the cooldowns. It's going to be easy to achieve. After getting 60 bonus damage, Keg Toss range is increased by 125% and gains a second charge. Keg Toss is primarily used to combo with Breath of Fire, so I'm not sure what the second charge does, other than giving you a slow. But it also is going to run you out of brew faster. Will this be on YouTube? If you guys want me to upload this to YouTube after it gets highlighted, I'll be happy to put this on YouTube. It's going to be kind of a long YouTube video, but whatever. I'm not sure that's good. Like, I have to play with it, but I'm not sure it's good. Unless they change Brewmaster's balance. If they change Brewmaster's balance in some way to, like, nerf it into the ground, then this might be good. But as it currently stands, this is going to make getting exactly 50 brew basically impossible. So I don't like it. Grounding Brew. Ability amateur. Okay, so they nerfed Grounding Brew a little bit. Consuming Flame removed. New talent. Accumulating Flame. Setting a hero on fire increases the damage of overtime Breath of Fire by 2% after maximum 60, so that's 30. Successful burns, that's fine. After gaining 6% bonus damage, Breath of Fire grants 1 second of resistance per hero set on fire. Whoo. So in a lot of cases, here's what happens with Chen. You kick in, you slow everyone with Keg Smash, you set them on fire, and then you stand there and drink. It's not going to make getting 50 brew impossible, it's just going to make it more difficult. If you're actually utilizing the second charge, then you're going to go 20, 30, 20. For this to stack the slow. Which leaves you at 30 brew, assuming you were at 100. It's not going to be consistent. You're not going to be able to be at 100 brew and do the combo and be exactly 50. Which is currently what happens. Maybe you could add the kick in there somehow, make it work out. But you're not going to be utilizing the second charge in a way that keeps you at 50 brew. That's the point. Have to play around with it, see what new combos are possible with the second charge. Okay. But a lot of times with Chen, you kick in, you do your combo, and then you drink to avoid essentially the counter initiate on you. While your team falls up. Having resistant during that would be pretty good. Accumulating Flame might actually be the new default talent. Might be better than Grounding Brew. We'll see. New talent. Fresh ingredients. Gathering a regen globe increases health generation by 1 per second, up to a maximum of 30. After 30, 50% of shields gained for fortifying brew are retained indefinitely after drinking. Okay. Wow, that's a big buff to Regen Master for Chen. He doesn't get the 500 bonus health, right? So the scaling on Chen's shields. Let me look at this real quick. So at level 0, his shield can get as big as 660 health. Which means that that's actually untalented. That's actually worse than base Region Master, because that gives you flat 500 health consistently at the start of a fight. But if a fight lasts for more than like 15 seconds and you get to drink multiple times, that's better. Not accounting for talents that can improve the amount of shield you're getting. Although that talent is at 16, you have to give. Currently at 16, you would give your pressure point. But it's possible that Freshest Ingredients was actually going to be better than old Region Master. But again, Region Master was usually passed over by high-level Chen players for Grounding Brew already. So we'll have to see where that leaves us. The block talent was removed. Deadly Strike, new functionality. Flying Kick now deals 100% more damage if Chen has fortified with brew shields. So they're putting talents in that synergize with it. That's fair. Yeah, at level 0, Chen's maximum shield is like 670. So it's an extra 250, or no, it's an extra like 300 some health at level 0. If he drinks to full. But that gives you an early game advantage, right? Because Region Master only mattered when you stacked it up to full. This is like from level 1, you get this advantage. Did I skip a level 1? Oh, Elusive Brawler. I didn't even see that. Okay. Activate to avoid all enemy basic attacks for 2 seconds. Basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Elusive Brawler by 3 seconds. 20-second cooldown. Oh. This doesn't say it can be used while drinking. Does anyone else notice that? This should say can be used while drinking. Like some you can use it while whirlwinding in order for this to be really, really good. Chen's attack speed is 1.11 hacks per second. So every second. So that's 4. That's pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Maybe that's how it works and they just include it. I'm going to have to check it. If anyone is actually on PTR and wants to go into try mode real quick and let me know if Elusive Brawler can be used while drinking. That's actually significant as to whether or not that talent is as good as it sounds. Flying Kick now is 100% damage and short duration brew shield. So again, that's going to synergize with Freshest Ingredients there. It's probably going to be a situation where you actually don't take Deadly Strike unless you have Freshest Ingredients. It's his own attacks. At least tested it in shop, it can. Oh, okay, so the Elusive Brawler is way better than I thought then. That's way better. Amplified Healing removed. That's fair. Deep Breath removed. That's fair too. It's fine. NPN TJ, appreciate it. Thanks a lot. Is it his attacks make it cool down, or is it enemies attacking him make it cool down? Because those are very different. Full Keg removed. No one took it anyway. It's fine. Combat Stance trait removed. That's kind of sad. Combat Stance was actually an okay talent. It's just overshadowed by Brewmasters. Ring of Fire moved to level 4. Periodic damage increased from 30 to 50. That's actually a pretty big buff. That's like Fire Devil level 4 for Diablo. That's going to be a mandatory talent. Spent all this time talking about like his level 4s, and it's like up here, by the way, you get a free his attacks. That's what I figured. Okay. Wording was slightly ambiguous. New talent, Refreshing Elixir, passive. All regeneration and healing effects are increased by 20%. This bonus is increased to 60% while channeling Fortifying Brew. Is that as insane as it sounds to anyone else? Because, okay, I guess you can't take Brewmaster's Balance and this, right? Brewmaster's Balance apparently wasn't changed at all. So you have Regen Master, or Freshest Ingredients. Shields are not a healing effect, so this won't affect shields. I think Brewmaster's Balance is still better. I think Brewmaster's Balance is still better than Refreshing Elixir, which is a shame because Refreshing Elixir sounds like so fun. And bonus fun. Yeah, Tower Shots actually do count as enemy-based attacks for most purposes. I always thought that was kind of weird, but if it applies to the cooldown for Brawler, that means drinking Tower Shots gives you free... Like, that's going to make Chen the ult, like, one of the most annoying people in lane ever. Like, straight up ever. We're gonna have to play Chen on PTR, guys. We're gonna have to do it. Brew Strike removed, that's fine. Enough to share, moved to level 16, that's fair. Relentless removed, sad. New talent, Withering Flames. Setting any hero on fire reduces their ability power by 25% for 3 seconds. Holy shit, is that good. What the fuck? That's like attack speed slows that other tanks have, but for mages. This by far in a way makes Chen the best anti-mage tank and possibly bruiser. Like, that is insane. That is an insane talent. That is a straight up insane talent. I don't even understand. Like, abilities in general are what people use to secure kills, right? It's burst abilities. Abilities are what give you burst. Burst is what gives you kills. It's a really simple dynamic that exists at pretty much every level of play in Heroes of the Storm. You don't normally, kill people just with auto attacks unless they're getting juked and you're stutter stepping around them and they just can't get you because you're just playing that much better. You watch Q8 play Raynor and that's how he kills people. It's not that he's killing them 100-0 like instantaneously. They're just being really stupid and chasing him around while he's stuttering with Revolution Overdrive and they can't catch up to him. But in the vast majority of cases, kills are secured with burst from abilities. The ability to just be like, nah, your burst is just not as useful as it was a second ago. Especially on a hero like Chen, who has such extreme mobility that he can really get on top of people and reduce their ability damage is actually hugely significant. Hugely significant. And it makes certain heroes it makes certain supports that struggle to deal with ability burst, like Malfurion, better with Chen than they would be with another tank. Right? So now we have this cool synergy that exists. Wow, I know some people are going to be very happy with these changes. I'll just say that. Bottomless Mug removed. That's fine. Boulder Flavor moved to level 7. New functionality. Gains 50% of your shield instantly when you use Fortified Memory and causes shields to persist for 1 second after drinking. That's a pretty good level 7 talent, but it's still not better than Brewmasters. I feel like this sucks. Rather than making any portion of Brewmaster's baseline, they just made every talent at level 7 insanely good. Like, straight up insanely good, but not better than Brewmasters. So you're still taking Brewmasters. It's like, fuck. Oh yeah, and fun fact, ability power applies to healing. If you increase a healer's ability power, their heals heal for more. If you decrease a healer's ability power, their heals heal for less. So not only are you reducing the potential burst from the enemy team, but you're denying the potential, burst healing from supports in a lot of cases. You put that on a Brightwing? No. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, one of the reasons that Mass Vortex plus Surging Winds at level 4 and level 13 on Lily is so brokenly strong is because of that synergy. You hit 4 targets with Mass Vortex. Surging Winds gives you 5% ability damage per target. That's 20% ability damage. And you pop Cups. 1,000 Cups now heals for 20% more of the duration because of the way Hero's Snapshots ability usage. It's a crazy good talent. It's just insane. It's insane. It's just the way it is. It's just insane. And they removed all his other competitive options at 13. Like this is a talent that's absolutely fucking bonkers and doesn't have any competition at its talent tier. It's crazy. I'm still pissed about the level 7 because every talent at level 7 is now good, but none of them are better than Brewmasters. Pressure point moved to level 13. Oh, okay. Flying kick slows enemies by 40% for 1 second. Oh. This effect is doubled if the target is effective. So it's an 80% slow instead of 90 at best. That's not better than Withering Flame. So pressure point just got like chunked out of existence. That sucks. Combination attack removed. That sucks. Combination attack removed a fun talent. Flying Leap increases the range of flying kick by 20%. This is a level 16 talent. Really? Okay, that's trash. Another round. After hitting an enemy here with Keg Smash, the cooldown of the next basic ability you cast will be reduced by 3 seconds. And here we finally have the synergy with the level 4 talent that I said was probably bad. You can Keg Smash someone, breathe on them, and then because of the cooldown reduction, Breath of Fire will go to 2 seconds. After the dot expires, you can Keg Smash them and breathe on them again. Or you can get more functionality with Kick and Chase potential. So there's actually like a cool build that exists now with that level 4 talent because of another round. But you need to take another round to make it good, and you need to wait till 16 for the payoff. That's usually a long time to wait. Hi, Dark Matter. If you jump up here, I'll pet you. Or you can just sit there and meow. That works too. Level 20 on tap potential, new functionality. Increases movement speed on wandering type by 25%. That's very reasonable. Chen gains 50% damage reduction while wandering. That's fucking enormous. That's amazing. Oh my god. Keg is a beast. Keg was already a beast heroic. Now it's even better. Elemental Conduit, new functionality. Your spirit's now 100% of Chen's maximum health. I'll take that. Grants Unstoppable. That matters. Also reduces the cooldown of Leap by 3 seconds. Yes. No longer an active ability. Spirits now attack 100% faster. While the Fire Spirit is alive. Holy shit. Come here. If you just get a little bit closer. Alright. Come here, Dark Man. Come. I know you want. 1 second, guys. Sometimes he gets upset, or afraid, I think, that he's not allowed on my lap. I don't know. He just doesn't want to jump. Which is weird, because normally he loves jumping to high places. Okay. Bolt of the Storm removed. Yeah, we all saw that coming. New talent, Purifying Brew. Passive reduce the duration of the next stun or silence by 75% and reset the cooldown of Fortifying Brew. Oh. Storm Sat Secret Recipe. Heal for 1.5% of your maximum health every time your basic abilities hit an enemy hero. Wow. That's insane. How does Storm Within Fire interact with Oriel's Crown? It doesn't. You actually, at least in live, you can't crown any of the little minions, and Chen loses the crown when he goes into Storm Within Fire. Storm Within Fire has lots of weird interactions on live. Hopefully they'll clean up some of those. I don't know. Chen's going to require extensive playtesting to evaluate how good he is. But remember the cooldown, right? Remember another round and then Keg Smash has 2 charges? So realistically, you're getting off an ability on average once a second. So that basically reads heal for 1.5% of your maximum health every second. And I'm assuming it counts as a regeneration effect. which means if you didn't go Brewmaster's Balance and you went Refreshing Elixir at 7, it's increased by 20%. While drinking, it's increased by... Well, I guess you can't do it while drinking. But... it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The interactions make it pretty good. But we'll have to see how it works out in practice. To me, it seems like it's going to be pretty good. The problem with Chen a lot of times is you have to go deep to do anything, and you often go deeper than your support can handle dealing with you or saving you. And this allows Chen to not die in situations like that. I don't know. It's going to depend on how it interacts with certain other talents. Yeah, it's also per hero hit, and you have 2 area of effect abilities, right? And you have 2 charges of Keg Smash, right? So this is 4. Like if you hit 3 heroes, it's 4.5%, followed by 4.5% because of the breath, followed by potentially again with the cooldown reduction interaction, another 4.5%, followed by another 4.5%. So like best case, like a reasonable scenario is 2 targets. Times 4, so that's 3% times 4, which is 12% of your total health over like a 4-second period. I would assume it's per hero, just based on the wording, but it's one of those things that we have to test. Yeah. Let the testing commence. ETC. Wow. Really? They reworked ETC this much? Alright, this is the last one, though. Okay. Yeah, there's precedent for it being worded this way and it affecting it per hero. There's lots of talents that read that way and work per hero. So we'll have to see. Well, Leoric's insane. Like, you can't compare Chen and Leoric. Spectral Leech is one of the most brokenly strong talents in the entire game. Make sure I read the bug stuff? Okay. Power Slide. Range increased by 25%. Okay. Okay. They increased the range by 25%, which tells me that they don't like the fact that people are taking the 1 in 4 Q talents. So I'm pretty sure that the 1 in 4 Q talents are either changed or removed. Prediction. I'm looking at the camera instead of at the patch notes now. Okay. Or looking at chat instead of at the patch notes. Rockstar race. This is actually a really nice quality of life change. Technically it's a buff, but Rockstar was so hard to hit consistently on everyone, even when you're like racing Immortals and your team was all grouped up, that was just necessary in my opinion. That's a really good change. Rolling Like a Stone removed. Sometimes I don't like being right. Like, I think ETC was in a reasonable place. His talent diversity maybe was shitty, but I thought he was in a reasonable place. But they just gave him Rolling Like a Stone baseline, so that's fine. Block removed. That's important. Block was a shitty talent on ETC. Prog Rock, new functionality. Gathering Regeneration Globe permanently increases the healing per second of target by up to 5, so that's a buff from 3. So after 20 globes, Guitar Soul also heals... So you get groupies. You basically just get groupies for free. So Prog Rock's the new level 1 default. Is there any other talents at level? Block Party? Okay. Rockstar also grants allies a stack of block, reducing the damage from the next base attack by 50% for 8 seconds. Stacks them 2 times. Prog Rock is probably strictly better than Block Party. Like, strictly better. So, ETC has a level 1... Let's look at this. Prog Rock, Block Party, Guitar Hero. What's Guitar Hero do? Oh, it's around... Where's it moved? Okay. So that's a shitty talent. So it's going to be Prog Rock like 100% of the time, and none of the other talents are worth considering. I'll have to test it to make sure. I could be exaggerating a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that nothing is going to be Prog Rock. Block Party definitely does not. Maybe against a full auto attack comp. Maybe. I don't know. But I doubt it. Pawn Shop Guitar. Move to level 16. Rename to Aggressive Shredding. New functionality. Basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Guitar Solo by 1 second. That's insane. The synergy that's going to have with Prog Rock is insane. So that's okay. That basically puts it on a 4-second cooldown. It lasts for 4 seconds, so basically it doesn't have a cooldown. This is the Zarya patch, yes. Double neck guitar removed. Oh. So, one of the... A lot of people think that ETC is valued for Mosh Pit at the professional level, and he's not. He's not. He's valued for the power of Power Slide. With the level 1 and level 4 talents, Power Slide becomes a point-and-click area stun that basically can't miss. It allows you to secure kills and initiate in a way that like a few other tanks can. But removing the width and the increase in the speed is huge. Like, straight up huge. Removing double neck guitar is like a 50% nerf to the defining reason that ETC is strong in the pro meta. It's just a huge deal. ETC is going to lose his spot as one of the top 2 tanks in the game. Not even looking at the rest of the changes. Unless there's something that restores, like a talent that restores Power Slide to its glory of point-and-click multi-hero stun, there's going to be trouble. Even for the full utility build that we saw like a while ago when Prog was first introduced, Cloud9 played it when they were playing in Gold League in China, the full utility ETC. They usually still took double neck guitar. Some games we'd see hammer on, but it was almost always double neck guitar. Like, that's how good that talent is. So in some sense, it's good they removed it, because if it's anywhere, it's going to be the default pick. Like, even at level 16, that would be the default pick. But it's a huge deal that it's not there. Mic check. Move to level 13. Okay. Number of target hits required to reduce face on cooldown. Reduce from 3 to 2. That doesn't matter. Mic check's just not a good talent. It doesn't have enough there's not enough good W talents for it to be good. So this... And at level 4... At level 4, this was a shitty talent. At level 13, this is like one of the worst talents in the game. Pinball Wizard, move to level 7. Damage increase from 50 to 150%. That still doesn't matter. W baseline does like what, 70 damage? Right around there. So 150% increase. I mean, I guess 225. Maybe? I don't know. We'll see. New talent, Crowd Surfer. Power Slide can now travel over walls and unpathable areas. That's okay. So, one of the major weaknesses of ETC was he couldn't go over terrain. It was actually, in some sense, part of his balance with Murden. Murden could go over terrain, and ETC couldn't. ETC had to walk around. The ability to go over terrain on some maps, especially Braxis, is a huge deal. It can shorten your rotations, especially after the mount speed change on some maps, by like 8 seconds. So, yeah, Crowd Surfer is a good talent. The problem with this, and this could be a problem, it could not be, it just depends on how they coded it. Illidan has a very similar talent that allows his W to go over terrain, but the problem with his W is that always, once you've taken the talent, it always checks to make sure you're not stuck on anything, and that checking actually freezes Illidan for a second. He actually can't move for like half a second to a second, depending on latency. if Crowd Surfer has that problem, it's going to be strictly untakeable. Like, you just won't be able to take it because mobility matters. Being in control of your hero matters. So if they coded it the same way they coded Illidan's talent, you just won't be able to take it. If it's coded well enough that that's not an issue, then it'll be great. But we'll just have to see. Just keep rocking. Removed. This was already removed. Guitar Hero, move to level 1, new functionality. Oh yeah. You heal for 30% of your damage, but see, like, this part doesn't matter. Because Prog Rock will heal you with the increase, usually, I believe, for more than this will. Right? So this will heal you for 30% of your basic attack damage, but your basic attack damage isn't that good, whereas Prog Rock is a fixed amount that will always apply. So, like, Prog Rock will always be better than this part of it. So the only part that matters is this. Also increases the attack speed bonus from Rockstar. Is a 5% increase in attack speed better than Groupies? Probably not. It's probably never, ever, ever going to be better. So this talent is just untakeable compared to Prog Rock. You've got to evaluate them in pieces sometimes. Loudspeakers move to level 4. Okay, so Loudspeakers was the default talent at level 7 for ETC. So Loudspeakers getting moved to level 4 gives some competition to Crowd Surfer. But if Crowd Surfer is bugged, like I said, then Loudspeakers will just be the default, and none of the level 4 talents will be worth considering. Follow Through, passive, renamed Hammer On, new functionality. After using an ability, your next 2 basic attacks deal 30% more damage. So that potentially gives you 6 increased basic attacks that do 30% more damage. I'll have to evaluate if that makes Guitar Hero worth taking. Because it's... So, that talent in and of itself is not good enough. But if it has synergy with some other talent, then maybe. I didn't expect them to redo work follow through like that. Think about it. Groupies removed. Spell Shield removed. Showstopper moved to level 16. Space Melt. Slow amount reduced from 80. So they nerfed the default talent. What is even left at 13? They have to have added stuff. This sucks. Okay. Speed Metal. Trait. Move to level 4. Movement speed bonus reduced from 20%. Okay. I'm not sure 10% makes that good enough to justify taking, honestly. It's still pretty close. God, his level 4 is overloaded with all of his good talents now. That sucks. Echo Pedal, passive, move to level 7, damage decreased, added functionality, now deals double damage versus... Oh, fuck me. Alright, something to check with Encore. Encore currently doesn't work with any of his other level 13 talents, there's no synergy. But we need to check it to make sure that's the case. But giving ETC Wave Clear is insane that early. Like, that is... If we're going to check the numbers, but if he can clear a wave, like, post 7 reasonably fast, then we're going to get to a point, and this has already happened in a few games on bigger maps, where Stage Dive might become the default heroic. Because it gives him crazy global presence and a crazy escape for being super deep into lane and just pushing. Push. After the nerf to Johanna and her wave clear, this actually makes him better in that regard as well. Moshpit's still, like, scary, but I don't know. Having wave clear, giving ETC, who has no wave clear, that's part of his, in my mind, part of his design as a hero is he's good at everything else, but has no wave clear. That's fine. Giving him wave clear and only making him slightly worse at everything else? I don't know. I don't know where he's going to fall out. Because up until that, I was like, well, they just basically made him worse. They moved stuff around and made him overall worse. Because they made Power Slide worse, and Power Slide is central to everything that's good about ETC. But giving him extra utility in the form of wave clear matters a lot, especially with the mount speed nerf. Damn. It's a Testament game. Still has Bolt of the Storm, though. Bug fixes. Fix an issue that prevented players from placing healing totems near destructible objects. Okay. Fixing the issue of causing Abathur's ultimate evolution to deal damage to nearby enemies on expiration. Okay. A new bracket. It's no longer possible to cast Cocoon on heroic vehicles, such as the Garden Terror or Dragon Knight. It's a little bit of a nerf. Ariel and Lunara. Fix an issue causing Lunara's camera to behave strangely. Lol. Diablo. It's no longer possible to cast Overpower on her. Oh, that sucks. Nova. It is no longer possible for Nova to target invulnerable heroes with triple tap. I didn't even know that was possible. That seems fair. Okay.